So predominantly our cases are referred. Probably about 98% of our cases are referred directly by the officer in charge of the case, or it could even be the uniform officer, so the first responder. So our response at that point is very focused on the immediate needs for safety and practical matters. It's very, very much like triaging. It's not uncommon to refer to our program as the fourth emergency responders. So you've got police, fire, ambulance, and then the psychosocial immediate response. So that's the role that we fill in immediately following the event. Sometimes the police remain on scene, sometimes they're calling us from the home, so it depends on the circumstance and the severity of the situation. One thing I want to make sure everyone's clear on is that we are not police employees. We are a separately run charitable organization, and we work very closely with the Toronto Police Service. So on the surface, it does appear that we are members. I have a police service ID. Our entire office infrastructure is part of the police facility. So on the surface, we look like we are part of them. The difference is that our files are owned by us and our clients. So the police do not have access to any client confidential records other than any kind of court subpoenas that they may go through. So just to make sure everyone's clear on that. So what we rely on in terms of information is purely verbal. We have no access whatsoever to any Toronto Police Service occurrence reports. It's purely a verbal dialogue between the officers and one of our crisis counselors with the verbal permission of that particular client. So as I was saying, the crisis response team is focusing on that immediate triage, but what they're going to be doing is ensuring that each victim where charges are laid are linked to the victim witness assistance program in their office. So there is a routine discussion that will happen with every client where charges are laid to ensure that they understand the critical role of VWAP and how to access them. So that's generally where the crisis team's involvement with the justice response begins and ends. So following that particular process, the crisis response program will do a very cursory assessment on risk and personal vulnerabilities for each of our domestic violence clients. Based on that information, the clients will be recommended, or there'll be a discussion between the crisis counselor and our client. We would like to recommend you or send you off to one of our case management programs. Can I do that for you? What this particular program will do, as you are already, you're probably all familiar with the case management process. There's no end time. It's based on the need, and so it's not based on whether or not a case is before the courts necessarily, but however long the need is there. So these individuals are, I would consider, at the highest risk of repeated violence, and you magnify that with, assessing personal vulnerabilities, which we all know increases their risk significantly. So these are all the things that we look at. The crisis team ultimately will refer to other individuals, will refer to individual organizations in the community in their immediate area. So other clients are definitely, we ensure that they have the information that they require. So in terms of the case management program, and at the later session I'll be talking about it more in detail. Because it's case management, there is some overlap, so to speak, with the Victim Witness Assistance Program. So what we want to do at that particular point is simply act as in a liaison role or facilitating access. We are not duplicating service because that really creates a problem for our clients. It's very confusing as it is. So what we would want to do is get in touch with the specific VWAP caseworker and decide who's going to play what role in that instance. And certainly the case manager at Victim Services takes a back seat when it comes to court issues. Where it comes to court accompaniment, because VWAP they're really stretched to the max, we will try and provide that service to our clients. And that's pretty much our involvement with this program. So on the most part, what we'll be doing is making sure that the client is connected properly with their VWAP worker, facilitate that, and where it is helpful and VWAP can't, we will go to court with them. And that includes the family court process now, which you all probably know about the Family Court Support Program, which is absolutely outstanding to have that finally.